Hello everyone, welcome back to another Sandbox tutorial. We're going to be talking today about role expressions. So what are role expressions? So basically it's the language that Sandbox uses to tell our system how to manage or how to link properties and how to make them interact with the actors. It might sound a little bit strange and difficult to understand that way, but you'll get it soon. So where can we use role expressions? So you can use them in basically three places. Let me show you. First of all, you can use them anywhere you can make a role. So that can be on a C item, whenever a C item is consumable or active or activation type. You will find this small menu here with role name, role ID, has dialog panel and role. So in this field, in the role field or the role name field, you can use role expressions. This is one of the places. The main places are the rolling places. So the other property was str strength. Let me show you where is strength. Here it is. Str, yeah, okay. So the properties also have a rolling area with the same fields than the C items and the consumable C items. These will only show if you check on rollable. Okay, so first place, as I said, the role and role name fields of rollable properties or consumable or activation C items. Okay, this is the first place. Second place where you can use role expressions is the auto field of the properties. Okay, so simple numerics, checkboxes recently. What else? I think radius too, and other properties display the auto field. Yeah, we have seen this before, but autofills can also accept role expressions. What else? Third place, the max value. Max value of a simple numeric can also accept role expressions. And finally, default values of default value of properties can also accept role expressions. And now, yes, finally, mods. The values of the mods, this field here, can also accept role expressions, and even the conditional areas can accept role expressions. Okay, so from these 5 places can accept any type of role expressions. So what types of role expressions do we have? We have many types of role expressions, but we're going to look at them little by little. I'm going to use this property here that I created in another tutorial to write down the different types of role expressions. So let's start, and let's do it with this property. We're going to use the auto field. I'm going to remind you about the first type of role expression, which is the this one here, key name. This is a direct reference to any property included in the actor. Okay, so as an example, we have here the AB property, which auto value is strength +3. We did this before. This is just to refresh your memory. So as you can see, AB is 8 + 3. So if I change strength, AB changes. Yeah. So this in between the parentheses, you have to write the key of the property, and as you can see, the strength property key, we had it open, is str. Okay, is as easy as that. Now the second property I want to talk to you about is role expression, sorry, is hashtag to reference a C-item property. So let's go and check one of these C-items that we created for skills, the athleticism skills. Okay, so the skill group has 3 properties. Yeah, so we can reference any of those 3 properties by using hashtag plus the key of any of those 3. So let's use mod as an example. So where did I have mod? Somewhere, I think. Skill mod, yes, there it is. So skill mod, yeah. So we're gonna use this, okay? And where are we going to use it? There's a role property here, I think. So let's use that. So what we're going to do is on our skill role, there it is, property, on the role itself, because I think we clicked this rollable, we're going to test role as a name, and we're going to include here, oh sorry, let me copy it from here. It might look a little bit confusing right now, but you'll understand right away. Okay, so let's go back to that athleticism one, and if I remember correctly, the mode is variable. Okay, so let's test this, you'll see. So we drag athleticism, okay, and we have the mod field for the skill and the role icon. So what have I done here? What have I done with the skill role? So I have set the role formula with a role expression equal to the skill mod C-item property. So when I click this role, it's going to roll, and the value that is going to return, and we'll see it here, is going to be equal to the modifier. So if I do this, you see, we get the modifier. Why? Because we are making a direct reference to the skill mod. So if I change this to 2, but it doesn't let me because it's an auto field. Let's change it so we can, there you go, you see, we change this on the skill mod, and what we're going to do is to drag the athleticism again. So I guess now we can change it. Oh yes, okay. Now, so if we click role here, you see test role 2, so is equal to skill mod. So that's what I'm doing. What I'm basically doing is that every time I roll this role, which is called test role, and you can see it here, test role, returns as a value equal to the skill mod C-item property. Yeah. Now going back to the previous role expressions, if I changed this to at str, as you can imagine, as I've explained previously, if I now click role, you see it returns the strength value, because as I have an at here, I'm referring to an actor property instead of a C-item property. Remember, actor properties are dragged upon panels of the template, yeah, and C-item properties are included in the group of the C-item, yeah. So as you can see in the skill group, you can see all the properties of that, and you can also have a look at them by checking on the CItem and the tab attributes. You can see more or less the default values of those. Yeah. The only thing is that if you check the properties here on the CItem itself, it's only going to show you the main ones and the ones that are not hidden. Yeah. Whereas if you do that, checking directly in the group, you can see a reference to all of them, and you can click on edit and check in detail those properties. Yeah, I hope this was clear enough. Let's continue with some more role expressions. The next role expressions that we're going to look at is going to be max. Okay, so how to use max and what does it do? Max returns the maximum value between a number of values that must be separated by commas. So if I use max 1d6 and 1d8, and I use this for the strength roll, yeah, okay, here, let's see what happens. So, oh, don't I have Dice on Ice active? Yes, I have it. Okay, yeah, so what happens every time I click, I have a different value there. Yeah, you see, 3, 6. So internally it's rolling 1d6 and 1d8, and we can't see them. Yeah, unfortunately, because it's not coded that way, and it's returning the highest value. So let me change this so you can see it easily. So if I change this, so max for 8, it must return 8. There you go. Yeah. Now, what else? We have a similar role expression called min. And as you can guess, this does the exact opposite. So if I click strength, it returns the 4. Yeah? Okay. Another simple one. Floor. So if floor, what does it do? So it rounds down any arithmetical operations that we have inside the parentheses. Yeah? So now let me do something more cooler. Yeah, so floor of 2/3, if I click roll, it returns 0. Okay, then we have the opposite. The opposite one is ceil, which rounds up the arithmetical operation. So if I click now strength, it returns 1, because 2/3, we all know that. Okay, it goes from the 0.66 to that 1, or to 0 if it's on floor. Yeah, these are very simple. Today we're gonna look at the simplest role expressions in Sandbox. Yeah, let's continue. Now this one that we're going to look at now is one of the most useful expressions in Sandbox, which is the percentage. This one is incredibly useful. Yeah, so now imagine that we have a system where strength is dependent on a table. Yeah, and this table what it tells me is that if my strength is equal to 0, for example, the modifier is -5. If my strength is under 8, yeah, so 7 or lower, my modifier is -2. Yeah, let me change this a bit so it makes more sense. So if it's 0 is -3, if it's under 8 is -2, if it's between 9 and if it's between 8 and 9, if it's 8 or 9, sorry, is -1. So if it's 8 or 9 is -1. If it goes between 10 and 12 is, oh sorry, I made a mistake. If it's between 10 and 12, it's 0. If it's between 13 and 14 is +1. And if it's 15 or higher is +2. Okay, let's leave it at here. All right. So obviously the cool way to do this would be to have a modifier and another field here, like if it was D&D, but let's use this as if it was a roll. So if I do that there with a 10 and this table, we should get a 0. Let's see what we get when we roll. A -1. Why are we getting -1 with a 10? Yes, because between 9 and 11 we get a -1. So if we have 12, now we should get a 0. See, I'm just a little sleepy tonight. And if we have a 13, we also get a 0, obviously. And if we have 14 for strength, we'll get a 1. You see, so it's very useful when you have systems that are dependent on tables for modifiers and things like that. You do it here. So how do you do it? So before the first comma, you need to use the property or the roll expression that you need to evaluate, and after that, separated by commas, you need to introduce the separators and the values that you need to compare. So here the property or roll expression that we're evaluating is, let me remove this last one so we can see it better, or maybe you'll see this one better. So we're evaluating the property strength. Yeah, so if first comma, so you need to introduce the first value before the 2 dots. Yeah, so if it's equal to 0, and you introduce the return value -3, comma, if it's equal or lower than 7, -2. Okay, so this is the way to use the percentage. You will find all this information also on the GitLab and on the wiki, but I'm right now working on the wiki. What else? What other? Something very important. The return value, -3, -2, can only be, for now, okay, a number. Okay, so try to use percentage for numbers. And the other and if you need to compare values and return values that are more akin to text, we'll use another expression. Okay, we'll use the following expression. Yeah, let's do it now. The if expression. Oh no, why did I do that? Okay, yeah. So the if expression. Yeah. Okay, so let's use test list for that. So how does if work? Okay, I'll explain you. 2 commas. So the first value, the first argument is the roll expressions that you are evaluating. So as I said, if works very good with checkboxes and text values. So I'm interested in this test list. So I'm going to evaluate this value and I'm going to use the key for that, and as is an actor property, test list. Okay, and the first argument needs to tell me what am I comparing it to. So I need 2 points at test list, 2 points. So I want to check if test list is equal to none, which is this value here. Okay, so if test list is equal to none, The first argument is what am I going to return if it's true? So if it's true, I'm going to return 3. No, let me do it easier. 1. If it's false, I'm going to return 0. Yeah, so let's use that as a role formula for the strength role. Sorry for the cut, but I made such an idiotic mistake that I thought there was a bug, but the only thing is that I copied the if formula with a blank space here. Okay, that's why it didn't work, and so I cut the video and I was like looking for the bug, and in the end I just, after 10 minutes check-in, it was just, this happens in the best families. Okay, so as I was saying, I even created a new actor. So with the if, so if test list is equal to none, and I click on strength, so boom, it returns 1. And if test list is equal to value C, and I click on strength, it's going to be 0. Okay, let's go to the next expression. Okay, this is going to be cool. I am going to show you a couple of things. So this expression is this one. Okay, so this is a direct reference to a property value by using its key name. Okay, you're gonna use this one when you want to dynamically reference properties only with its key name. So if I write this one, let's change to some other property. Which one can we use? Dexterity? Yeah, okay. So if my strength, let me make up some space here. This is okay. So if the strength property now has a role formula equal to this one, what I'm going to do is that if I click on strength, it's going to return 10. You see? There it is. It returns 10. Oh, I wasn't on full screen either. So if I change this one to test list, no, I can't return. Role expressions can only return numbers. Remember that. AC. Let's try with AC. Was that the key? Yeah, 10. There you go. Yeah. So if AC is 12 and I roll strength, it returns 12. Yeah, okay. So you might ask yourself then, why do I need this? As I said, to dynamically reference other properties. Yeah. This might be very, very handy. For example, now let's change test list. A very easy example. Let's change test list in options values to str, comma, dex, comma, int, comma. Yeah, and the default is str. So let's rebuild, let's reload. Okay, now as you can see, now the test list includes the three keys of these three properties. Now if I change the str, the strength role, to something like this. Oh, I need to edit. Opa, yes. To something like up. Right, that's it. So what am I doing here? So whatever value is returned by the test list property, which in itself we know that it's a key, it's going to be a key. So these two underscores are going to return that value of that property with that key. Okay, so if I do this and include it in the role formula of the strength property, if I choose here dexterity, and dexterity, let's say 7, okay, and I click on strength, it returns the 7 because I have the test list selected as dexterity. If I select strength, and now strength is, I don't know, 13, if I click on strength, it's going to return the strength value. Subsequently, if I choose int and click on strength, it's going to return the int value, which is a 10. Very cool way of returning dynamically referencing properties, very useful for lists, for checkboxes too, and things like that. Now that was underscore. This, as I said at the beginning, this is going to be the basic role expressions tutorial. The if expression has a couple of things, a couple of extra things that we're going to learn in the next tutorial, and the percentage and the max min with a little bit of tweaks have extra options that we're going to learn in the advanced role expressions tutorial, but this one is the basic ones. Okay, now there's other expressions very similar to the underscore, which is this one. What does this one do is exactly the same than the underscore one, but instead of referencing an actor property, it references a CItem property. So in our example, if we do skill mod, because this property is skill mod, okay, we do this one as a 2, yeah. So if we change the skill role property role formula into that thing here, okay, if I click here, what does this do? So it's going to look for the value of the skill mod key property, which is this one. So if I click role, it returns 2. Yeah, so if I change this one to 1 and I click roll, it returns 1. Okay, as easy as that. So as you've seen in the previous example, whatever we include between the slashes, the and or the underscores, so it can be in itself a role expression that returns a text, like we've seen before with the reference to the test list. Okay, what else? And to finish this, okay, yes, this is something very basic that is normally asked a lot. Yeah, so how can I explain this? Let me see. So this is very basic, but if we have a CItem like athleticism, yeah, on skill role, and we want the role, instead of displaying whatever fixed value that we have in the role property, we want it to display the name of the CItem. So you can do that by using hashtag name written this way. This is one of those basic expressions in Sandbox for CItems that can be very useful. So now if I roll the skill mod, instead of showing me test roll 1, it's going to show me athleticism 1. So I click on roll, there you go, athleticism. Yeah, also you have to know that when we roll from CItem, if we can click the name of the role and the CItem will open on a different pop-up window. Okay, now there are a couple more expressions for CItems, specific for CItems. The other one is diff. So diff returns the difficulty value in the DC box if it's enabled, if that box is enabled from the system settings, the show DC window checkbox. So if as a role name we introduce name versus difficulty as a role name, and we click on role, boom, we look at this, athleticism versus 12, you see. So if I change this one to 15, to 15, you see athleticism versus 15. Okay, that's very useful, and you can use it inside the role formulas and inside of any field, any role expression field. Okay, the last C item specific role expression that we have is, where's athleticism? Let's use a consumable C item. We had one on traits, rage, I think it was. Yeah. Okay. This is going to be cool. The last one, let's assume this one is 1d6. This is rage roll. Okay. Is the role expression. Role expression. This one. Okay. What does this one do? This one takes this one takes the role executed by the C item. So you can only use it on C items. So that this means that the rage C item, as you can see, every time you use it through the icon, through the use icon, it's going to roll a 1d6. But we have a mod that increases, remember this from previous tutorial, increases the HP, the hit points on 5, but I don't want 5 all the time. I want the hit points to be increased based on this roll, on the C item specific roll. That's why I'm going to use roll here. Okay, so let's test this. Where did I leave? Okay, there you go. So if I click on the star, so we should see a 1d6 and we should see that value added to the HP. There you go. And there you see, HP has been increased by 6. It was 0, now it's 6. Yeah, very cool. And I think this is, shall I include the conditionals to these basic ones? No, that's a bit more complicated. Let's leave that at here with 30 minutes with the basic role expressions. I want to learn these things slowly, little by little. These are the basic expressions, and with these ones you can basically build a lot of things. Yeah, so I'll wait for you for the next tutorials. Next tutorial will be role expressions, the advanced role expressions, with many of the new role expressions that we've included in the last versions of Sandbox, which have been a lot of them. Yeah, but with these ones you're ready to start building your own system from scratch with a lot of possibilities. Yeah, thanks a lot for being there. Thanks a lot for your patience and for your support, and see you on the next one. Peace.